I don't know if you've been checking lately, but Louisville basketball is officially back, baby.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Yeah. Classic.
They are back. They are back. They are so back. Yes. 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 Louisville basketball is officially back. It is nice to finally see it after an abysmal, past 4 years or so? Really 2 bad ones. I'll give Chris Mack some grace with what he had to go through, but the last 2 years especially, good. Oh, it's nice for Louisville basketball to finally be back. Pat Kelsey was Louisville's third option, and they got exactly what they needed. Pat Kelsey is the savior of this city, in my opinion. And if you don't believe me, just go back to last year when it was really bad in the Kenny Payne era, where all the bars and restaurants downtown are sitting there saying, we're not making any money because no one's down here, because no one is going to the games. No one's going to the Louisville basketball games. Like, just think about the importance of the Louisville men's basketball team to the economy of the entire city of Louisville. It is incredible how important this team is to the city, and they are finally back. Before we get going, I just want to harp on the Kenny Payne era real quick, though, because it was so bad, and I knew it was going to be bad from the second I found out that they hired him. For a multitude of reasons, he made sense, but he's never been a head coach in his life. Coming to Louisville, Louisville had a head coach that had never once called a timeout in his life. That blows me away. Okay, yeah, he was an alma mater. Yeah, he was a great player. Yeah, it made sense. But you have to kind of just, that's a big-time job, Louisville basketball. It's a big-time job. You can't just get somebody who's not capable of doing the job because it's going to destroy the city. It's incredible. It's incredible. And it's nice to finally see some life, some energy in the city, in the Yum Center. It's bringing people together. I watch the games with my friends now. The past 2 years, we had not watched the games on TV. We watch them on TV now. It is bringing the city closer together. And now they are top 25. They're like 21. They're almost cracking the top 20 after a ginormous win against Wake Forest. Although Wake Forest isn't that good and the entire ACC as a whole is not that great, Louisville's kind of gotten lucky on that side of things because they're not playing the best competition ever, but they are beating the teams that they need to beat. They're not losing as of right now. And they've had some pretty solid road wins. And to top it all off with the fact that they're doing it with 3 guys not playing. The big dude from BYU, he hadn't played all season, so that's whatever. But then you're Cason Pryor and Corin Johnson out for the entire season. That's wild with what they're doing given the circumstances. Imagine if they had the full team. On the other side of that, though, you could say maybe Cason Pryor and Corin Johnson not playing and just giving these guys the minutes is kind of what needed to happen for them to start flourishing the way that they are. But hey, who cares? It's working right now. Do I believe that Louisville is a true top 25 team? No, I don't. I think they're a top 35 team because they're beating teams, again, that are not that great. Sorry to say it, ACC basketball is very bad this year. Miami sucks. Florida State sucks. Boston College sucks. Syracuse sucks. Virginia Tech sucks. Georgia Tech sucks. North Carolina is not that great. Notre Dame is not that great. Cal's not that great. Stanford is not that great. Who else? SMU is whatever. It ain't nothing like the SEC. It ain't nothing like the Big Ten right now. So their games are easier, but they're winning the games that they have to win. So, does that make sense? Does my logic make sense right there? I don't really know if it does. But whatever. Let's talk about Pat Kelsey and what he's done with this Louisville Cardinals basketball team. okay? Because Kenny Payne left this in the dumpster, and there is no excuse. There is zero excuse for how Kenny Payne went about his business. There is zero excuse for the result that was the Kenny Payne era, because he wasn't dealing with any NCAA restrictions. He wasn't dealing with any of the past bullcrap that had gone Louisville's way. He wasn't dealing with any of that. So what was his excuse for recruiting talent? However, on paper, because people make that argument sometimes. They make that argument where they're like, he just couldn't recruit his guys. Like, why not? He had the transfer portal where you could just transfer whenever you wanted and not have to sit out a year. He had that. He had all the restrictions gone. And on paper, he had 4 stars. He had 5 stars. He had transfers. He had electric players. He had big-time recruits. But he didn't win with them. You can go look at everybody that has transferred away from the Louisville teams over the past 2 years. They're doing just fine this year with where they're at. So it wasn't the fact that he had bad players. He just didn't coach them. He's from the John Calipari era where he just got the best talent. The only difference between John Calipari and his talent and Kenny Payne and his talent is that John Calipari actually got his talent to play hard, inspired them, challenged them. Who cares if he doesn't know anything about basketball, how to adjust on the fly in a game? He's able to get superstar talent to play hard and play together. Kenny Payne had talent, not as much talent as they ever had at Kentucky, but he had talent. He just didn't do anything with it because he thought you could just put talent on the floor and it magically works. That's not how it happens. Kenny Payne is soft-spoken. He was terrible in the media. There was no excitement behind this basketball program. It was virtually dead based off everything over the past few years that's been going on with the Louisville men's basketball program. You had the strippers. You had the Adidas stuff. You had the extortion crap with Chris Mack and whatever his that assistant coach's name was. I'm blanking off the top of my head. It's kind of embarrassing that I don't know that off the top of my head as I'm speaking to you. Gaudio. There we go. The extortion thing with him and Gaudio, I mean, it's just been a mess. It has just been a mess. And Louisville could have cleaned it up earlier by not hiring Kenny Payne and just hiring the right guy the first time. Now, the right guy, whoever that is, it wouldn't have been Pat Kelsey at the time. But you get who you get when you need to get him, I guess, because Pat Kelsey is here like he's been here forever. Like, immediately, first season, Louisville is back to being where Louisville basketball should be, which is in the top 25, competing for national championships and competing for conference championships. Pat Kelsey, it's a brand new brand. There's brand new excitement. There's brand new life in the city of Louisville because of what Pat Kelsey is doing. And that win against Wake Forest, man, kind of solidified it, gave people even more hope to believe in the future of Louisville basketball because that was a game that they had to win. It based off all the success that they have been having, right, where they've beaten SMU, they've beaten Florida State, they've beaten all these kind of like subpar teams, right? But in a row, it's like, okay, can they keep it going? And they're finally facing another like opponent in the ACC such as them, and they blow them out of the water. Wake Forest is not a bad team. They are a good team. They're an above average team. I'll give them that. They are, but they're still not that quality win that you're looking for. But hey, that was a like opponent that could have gone either way, and they blew it out of the water. Blew it out of the water. It was fantastic what happened. And they do it with teamwork, man. Like, Pat Kelsey has gotten these dudes to do what Kenny Payne could not do, and that is get his guys to play hard and play together and stick together, because early on in the season, there was every reason for Louisville to fold. There was literally every single reason for Louisville to fold over and just go on to the next year. They had every excuse. Well, this guy's out for the season. This guy's out for the season. We lost a couple big early games and kind of killed the excitement around Louisville's basketball program early on when they got clumped by Tennessee, when they got clumped by Ole Miss, when they got clumped by who else? It seemed like every time they played a big game, they just got beat. But then they play in the Bahamas tournament. They beat a ranked Indiana team. Now, Indiana is a terrible team. Indiana is going nowhere. Indiana is so bad for so many reasons, but I'll digress on that. They beat, at the time, a ranked Indiana team, kind of exposing that Indiana is not who they were. And then they beat in the top 25, out of the top 25, currently still West Virginia team, and then lose to an inevitably ranked Oklahoma team in the championship of the Bahamas Maui of the not the Bahamas, yeah, the Bahamas, the Maui Invitational. I'm saying the Bahamas Maui Invitational, the Bahamas Battle of Atlantis. There we go, baby. Yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking so much on this stuff, but they prove themselves in that tournament. And then what? They lose to Kentucky, and then they get clumped by Ole Miss after the fact, right? And then they lose to Duke. There's every reason for them to just fold and give up and say, next season on. But no, all the adversity that has gone their way, they have just kept on coming with a relentless effort. And it starts with Pat Kelsey, and it's extended from Pat Kelsey into Chucky Hepburn because he is a dog. I love Chucky Hepburn. Love him so much. He's a dream point guard to have out there. He's comparable to Zakai Ziegler. Okay? He is that good. He is that important to the Louisville basketball program. It's because he just plays so freaking hard. Remember what I said about last year when the restaurants and the bars were sitting there being like, we're not making any money, and because no one's coming to the game, stressing the importance of how valuable these kids are to the city of Louisville. Chucky Hepburn deserves every NIL deal that gets thrown his way. Someone needs to sponsor him immediately in the city of Louisville, and when he's done playing basketball, has like a $500,000 job for the rest of his life if he wants. That's what Chucky Hepburn needs, because he deserves it with the way he's playing. In today's culture of basketball, where it's so cool and it's so selfish and it's so what this and that, he plays hard every second of the game. He is so important to this team because of his effort alone. He's not a big guy. He's not a crazy athletic guy. He's just tough and relentless and confident and in the moment. It's awesome watching Chucky Hepburn play, but he is just an extension of Pat Kelsey, because I guarantee you that's exactly how Pat Kelsey played when he was a player. Passionately, effort, tough, in your face, in your nose, get on the floor for a loose ball, get in there, get dirty. That is what Louisville needed. Louisville needed the guys who are willing to just go in the dirt and get out and pull everybody out and let's get clean. They're going into the dirt and pulling and resurrecting this Louisville men's basketball program, and it is beautiful to see. Last night's win over Wake Forest solidified it. Again, not the best opponent in the world, but someone who's worthy of respect, and you blow it out of the water. It's nice to be back. I think going forward, Louisville gets exposed in some areas that they probably need to be exposed in for future games and tournament games. Do I think Louisville is a tournament team? Yes. However, because of their schedule in the ACC and how awful it is, not their own doing, how awful their ACC schedule is, the fact that their conference is so bad is going to hurt them in the long run of getting into the tournament if they don't merely, they have to win out the rest of the way and then win a couple of games to get into the tournament. Maybe they don't have to win the conference championship. They don't have to do that, but they need to win one or two games at least, I would say, to solidify their position in there, because everybody in the SEC is probably getting in, minus South Carolina, maybe minus Arkansas. But I would say everybody else has a daggone good shot of getting in. Big Ten, half the Big Ten's probably getting in. Then you got all your conference champion winners. God forbid that South Carolina or Arkansas, that's what it's going to be, right? SEC, Arkansas is going to just collapse for the rest of the season, but they're going to come alive during the SEC tournament and probably win it and throw everything off, because they were going to be a team that they weren't going to be in the NCAA tournament unless they won the conference championship, and they were just able to win the conference championship, screwing everything up. So there's tons of people there's going to be tons of people like that. So it's there's going to be some limited spots to get in, because half of them, probably 50 of the ones, not 50, I would say probably 35 of the 64, 68 are just like guaranteed already. So Louisville has to win out, and then Louisville has to win a couple of games in the tournament. I think they can do it. I think they are an actual NCAA tournament team, and I think they're going to have no problem winning out. I'm not expecting them to, but I think given the rest of their schedule, they should, quite honestly. I don't think there's a game they're not favored going forward. So that's encouraging, at least. But I can't stress enough how important that win over Wake Forest was. It was amazing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. They're revitalizing the city, and I'm excited to see where Louisville basketball goes from here. This is Bryce Gares with All Things the Ville, signing off.